Hey my friends, today I want to talk to you about the Great Flash, the event many of you are looking for, maybe even waiting for. I want to remind you, as the whole year 2024 was very intense with solar activities. Many of these activities have been affecting you on many profound ways. When it comes to your physical body, it has been through purification. It has been through realignment with the energy that's the most optimal for its functioning. And it has been through recalibration when it comes to sleeping patterns and natural light patterns. So many of you have been doing a lot of work to realign yourself with the nature, and for that I congratulate you. This is a work against your habits, and for many of you it started showing very profound effects on your health and well-being. Also, different energy levels have increased. These activities have also affected you mentally. Your brain is producing electromagnetic field, and as the sun has these geomagnetic storms, it affects your brain profoundly. Sun is the purest body of the solar system, and when it comes to these storms, the solar flares, it is pushing out the cooler particles, and that is causing solar activity. When it comes to more philosophical explanation of this process, it means that the outdated is coming out onto the surface and transmuting itself into a fuel, into an energy for a new creation. When it comes to your brain, it means that outdated patterns, stored outdated beliefs are coming to the surface, so you can identify them, shatter them, and use this energy that has been stored in these beliefs and suppressed ideas as a fuel for new perceptions that can be more holistic, that can form a greater understanding that's built on lighter energy, that's more similar to compassion, love, and caring. And when it comes to your heart, these activities have affected you also in many ways. Your heart is also producing electromagnetic field, and these activities have allowed your heart to bring to the surface emotions that have been suppressed in your nervous system. And these emotions also needed to be noticed, identified, questioned, and released through awareness. And many of you have been doing this kind of healing, and many of you have been saying that it is producing no rewards, it is producing no results, but still when you reflect back, you can see that you are a different person today, and your body is feeling lighter and more fluid than it was a few years ago. You're noticing that your heart is now more open and more perceptive for new information and new realizations that could be called as intuitive aha moments, when something clicks and you can form a bigger picture out of anything that's happening in your world and around you. So many of you right now could take a moment to celebrate the progress you've done until now. You also need to know that right now we are still having a lot of these activities, and it's not about waiting when the big event will happen. The big event is happening gradually and slowly, and you're a part of it. It's like you would place your finger into a jar of water, and you would put that jar onto a fire where it would slowly start warming this water. Because your finger is in this water, it is adapting to the water's temperature, and therefore you're not noticing so much of the change than you would notice if you would go from cold water to warm water. And that's what's happening to yourself as well, to your body, to your brain, and to your nervous system. You're not really noticing much change, but if you would reflect on the last 5 years and 10 years, you would notice that you've become so much more evolved, so much more perceptive, so much less naive, and you've developed an incredible sense of trust for the mystical, which is the unseen forces of this universe that are really forming the material and bringing the unseen into the seen world. So these realizations are bringing to you a lot of clarity and reason to keep going with the changes. And because you keep moving forward, you've also become aware that it's not about perfection. It's not about being a perfect human being. It's about constantly looking forward for who you choose to become and into whom you choose to evolve from right here, right now, and what kind of evolution, the personal, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual evolution can awaken the most of enthusiasm inside your heart. Because from enthusiasm, you wake up to a wider perception of how you would love to share this enthusiasm, this energy with the world around you. So therefore your energy field, your reality field becomes infused with a new energy that is coming from the depth. It's not a projection from what you've received from outside of you. Now it becomes an expression from what came from inside of you. And therefore you're now not just reflecting anymore what has been projected to you. Now you've started creating what came from inside of you. And that's when you become a reality creator. You start co-creating with life and experiencing more of what you wanted to experience. And this is another gradual process that many of you have learned and are still learning about how to create your reality. You also need to understand that creating your reality is like a kindergarten knowledge for everything that comes after this. You're becoming more aware that manifestation and learning about all the tools that can help you to create your reality that comes with all these events and cosmic changes that are happening right now are only the beginning of everything you are capable of. There's a part of you that already knows that you've been a part of creation. You've created this universe. There's a part of you that have been co-creating the universe, the stars and planets. And many of you are waking up to these other sparks of you that remember that you're capable of, but you still don't know how to fully activate them and use this knowledge and information of yours. But you're beginning to realize that reality creation is a playful act, but not your main purpose. There's a purpose behind that, which is about a bigger meaning. What to do when you know that you can create your reality. You can recognize that with the knowledge that you have, you can enlighten those that don't possess this knowledge yet. And therefore, you start thinking about others rather than just thinking about yourself. And this is another gradual process that many of you are going through, from personal healing to collective healing. Many of you are already in a position where you've put yourself willfully onto a position of someone who's in service to others. And this is something that you should be proud of, not in any arrogant way, but in a grateful way, because it was you that has decided to take upon this act. Be proud of yourself and cherish yourself for your courage and bravery. With that, you're doing a great service to the process of expansion of new energy. You can imagine this thing as you are producing your own bubble of reality in which there's more and more and more energy present that came through you. In other words, you've channeled it. You're not a projector of what came to you. You're now projecting what came through you, and therefore your bubble of reality is becoming more vivid, more colorful, more refreshing, more divine, so to speak. And you need to understand that you're not alone that is doing this work. There's many individuals that are forming their own bubbles of reality. And in this bubble, you're now meeting more people that are in a similar energy than you, or they came or come to you for your teachings or healing. And as more and more people are creating these bubbles of reality, all these bubbles are infused with the same principle of God or Creator, which strives towards connection, it strives towards becoming renewed, it strives towards harmony, and therefore all these bubbles are formed in an equal frequency. And what is happening on the world right now, there's more and more of these bubbles that are coming together and forming one bigger bubble that creates a new collective reality that more and more of you are experiencing. As this bubble of reality is expanding, this new reality is becoming more grounded and integrated within many of you. And many of you that are experiencing that would say that you're already living on a different world. You're meeting more kind people, you're meeting more compassionate and passionate people. You're meeting new opportunities that you never thought they're possible. You're feeling lighter, you're feeling there's more synchronicities and serendipities happening in your life. You're experiencing less sickness or illness. Your body is feeling lighter, it requires less food and sometimes even less sleep. Your mind is experiencing more clarity, and your emotional body is becoming more like a channel rather than a body of stored and suppressed energy, which makes you feel even lighter and more energetically sensitive, so we can sense more impulses that could be channeled through you through a creative work or an act of solving problems on the world that need to be solved. And this is a beautiful process that is part of the event that many of you have been waiting for. But there's still so many of you that are waiting big changes to happen. You need to recognize that you need to put your finger into this water and be a part of the process and see how could you participate in this process. And firstly, start with you and people around you. Start with your family and see if you could embody an act or a position of someone who's in service. How could you serve them? But I also understand you don't have nothing to give to them. So you firstly need to find out what is yours, so it could be given to others. And once again, to those of you who feel like this, you're in a process where you're looking and searching for what is yours. You're really searching your own identity. And to those of you who are looking and searching for your own identity, you are going through the process of purification, something the sun have been doing. There is no judgment for anyone who's maybe somewhere here or somewhere further away on your evolution. You are on a divine timing, and your evolution is beautiful. So don't compare yourself with anybody else, because your evolution is beautiful. If you're at this point, know that you don't need to change for anyone, and you don't need to do anything special to be worthy of everything that can come through you. You just need to recognize what acts, what activities awaken inside of you a bit higher energy than you feel if you don't do them. Like some of you may start dancing, and some of you may start creating, some of you may start writing, and you will notice that doing these activities puts you into a bit higher energy than if you don't do any of that. So therefore, you know, this is closer to your real identity when you're doing it. But to really know your real identity can only happen through doing it. Because once you start doing something that puts you kind of like on fire, you become a channel of the real you, or the higher self that starts speaking through you. And therefore in your work, you will see the reflection of the real you. So start doing more of these things that put you, as I said, on fire, and you will learn more about who you really are. That's when you will notice what you can offer to the world, and suddenly your cup will go from empty to being full. When your cup is full, you know you can pour some of yourself onto others. That's why this process many times requires solitude. And in solitude, you start learning more about what you want to do with your life. That's why you need to be sometimes alone. So you don't have so many of distractions from the outside world that are constantly calling you to do something you maybe just don't want to do. So know that wherever you are at this point, it's a perfect time and place for you to be. Accept where you are, use what you have, and do what feels the most right to you at this point. Your heart knows. Your mind sometimes will pull you away from what you feel. So know that the event is taking place. It's a gradual process of your own sovereignty, maturity, and independence. Believe in anything that arises inside of your heart, and don't mistake your emotions for your intuition. Because sometimes when your emotions require someone to hear them, you will not be able to distinguish these voices for the voices of intuition, which means that it's time for you to release, to feel, and through feeling you will let go. And once you let go, a realization or a moment of clarity will arise inside of you that will teach you what will be your next step. This is when you start trusting your body, and your body will start trusting your soul more, and your soul will trust the spirit, and the spirit will take you where you are meant to go, where you've been designed to be. But know that right now you are where you've been designed to be, to awaken to where you've been designed to go. There is no comparison, like where you want to go is better than where you are right now. Right now where you are is perfect, and soon you will realize that you would never become who you're meant to be if you would never go through what you've been. So hold yourself on with a great sense of care towards you, and know that it's all a divine timing. My friend, I hope you found a great value today. I'm sending you all lots of love, blessings, and power. I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting as well, the sun, which was created back in 2021, I think. And thanks to everyone for choosing to support my art on AttractPassion.com, where you can find prints of my art, original paintings, and so much more. Some motivational products, posters for the wall, for your home, so you can make it a sanctuary. Today's message to me felt like a beautiful fluid channeling that just came through me, and I needed to share it with you. So I hope you've enjoyed in it, and also thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community for more exclusive content. Go and check it out, the link is in the description. Until next time, one love.